day with us. And
Is it an Zoom?
yeah. Oh,
Cheryl.
That-
Do you want to know? You want my real name or my go by name?
what's your good one?
Sherry. But all my documents say Cheryl.
Sherry Higgins. That is. The captain and lieutenant of your ship. And I think we had a great experience. I had a great experience working with you guys. And I really mean that because not all my experiences are great. So, they always say that the heavy is the head that wears, and sometimes the servant is just overlooked. But, I'd like to create mutually beneficial outcomes. So I do want to thank you for making things tremendously easy for me, and just always being available and transparent. Even you picking up the phone sometimes when I was double battling Dan and stuff like that. So I just appreciate you guys for being who you are. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you is the first thing that I really do want to say.
Well, I appreciate everything. It went very smoothly. It was very quick, very smooth. Your people, your company did a very nice job on remodeling some of the things. It was very nice. I was impressed.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that so much. And we try to do quality, and it's not about, and I said this to Dan initially, I said, I only take maybe 2 to 4 projects, 5 at the most at a time, because I don't need to do a whole bunch of projects. I need to do a few projects the right way. And time and energy is the main thing that I really want to save you guys, and then put the most money in your pocket that I can, which is why I do real estate non-traditionally, right? I think a lot of realtors are scared of the type of business that I do because it does involve some investment, but I truly believe, and hopefully nobody gets mad at me for this, but I truly do believe that for realtors to make the money that they do and not necessarily have any skin in the game, then yeah, I feel a little strange about that. Making $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 commissions to sign documents that really a lot of times our assistants sign for us and things of this nature. I think you should have a little bit more skin in the game. You should be a little bit more in-depth and hands-on with your clients, and you should communicate very clearly. And I try to make things as low adversity as I possibly can, and then do a lot of game planning in advance so I can give you good information. And it was funny because Dad was like, well, we haven't gotten emails. I was like, oh yeah, because that's kind of the part of the process for us to not annoy you. But at the same time, the lines of communication are always open to say, hey, can you send us this? And we'll always do it instantaneously. So even in regards to the Schedule C and the abstract, the title, you guys will get all that information. We make sure that we get that, and just to make things as low adversity for you guys as we possibly can. But I did put together some questions, and because I think with you guys, it was a great way to end and start the year, because obviously we went under contract December 14th. It's January 31st. So I said about 45 days, and we were true to our logistic timeline. Makes me extremely proud. But the first thing I wanted to know is, what were your initial thoughts? Because I know I had the conversation with you, and then I know you went and had the conversation with Sherry. So I know that sometimes when you play phone, like telephone, some of the information gets misconstrued. So what were your initial thoughts when we talked about equity partnership, as opposed to like a traditional cash sale was a little bit less money because we try to keep our spread good for skill creep. And when you learned about, you could actually have this option to sell your home in that regard. And then after I told you, what were your thoughts? So starting with you, what were your thoughts when I said, hey, we can do this thing cash? Obviously you can list it traditionally, but we can also do this thing called Novation, an equity partnership, where I just pick it up from here and kind of be your concierge or your personal assistant on the sale of this home.
So I had to weigh the cost of what it was going to cost to remodel the house, and the length of time it would take me to do it as compared to handing it over to you and letting you remodel it, and what the price difference was going to be after I paid commission for a realtor and all the things that go along with that. And I kind of realized that in the end, it wasn't going to come out that much more money for me to go ahead and have you do it as to have me do it and take months. So it was a lot faster, and it wasn't going to cost me that much more. So I wasn't going to be out that much.
So pretty much you just weighed the logic of it all.
Yeah. I just weighed time and money, and in the end, what was going to get me doing it myself.
And I think one of the things I try to pitch is the time, right? Because most of the time we're like, well, I can just do this. And I'm like, I know how much time it takes me to do it, and it's not easy, but I know I got the crew that's ready to allocate the time to it. And that's what I kind of said to you. I was like, hey, Dan, very transparently, I want to keep my guys busy at the end of the holiday season, moving into the new year. So that would be a tremendous benefit for them to keep them busy, to keep their families fed. So that's kind of one of the parts. How about you? When Dan came back home with this information, hey, this guy kind of offered something that was a little non-traditional. Tell the truth. I let it.
Yeah, I was the same that as him, but I'm a true Libra, so I weigh this. I weigh everything. I second guess every October 18th.
I'm October 17th.
Oh,
That's all right, babe. That's what we okay. So you were the top negotiator when he got back in the car, like, hey, let's go back. Let's try to get a close rate. Goodbye. Like,
yeah. So I try to weigh out everything.
when you weighed it out, what was your kind of thought to conclusion?
Just the same as him. It would have taken him a long time to get it done. And then if we would have done the work and then listed it ourselves, then we're out a lot more money.
Yeah.
We're
Rinse,
lots of money and putting in commissions for,
upstart cost from the
and it would have taken longer.
Yeah.
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 Like,
And that's the pitch, man. I mean, it's not even a pitch. It's a conversation. It's like, hey, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. And just so everybody understands, every real estate professional in terms of like buying and holding or fixing and flipping, we're using the same math. It's about 55 to 70% of the overall after repair value of the home minus the amount of repairs. So that's the formula that we have to use to make sure that we're profitable. Because scope creep just means that when you're going along in the job, the scope of work will creep up. It never creeps down. I mean, maybe 1% of all flips I've ever done be like, hey, I thought this was going to be 8,900 and it's only 2,000. Like that never happens.
I will be honest though, there were times I said I wish we could have just sold it outright for cash.
Yeah.
And been done with it.
Yes.
Because it could have taken longer to sell it.
Yep.
And then we would have been waiting.
Yes.
But it didn't happen that way. So I'm very thrilled with that.
Awesome. I'm glad that you are. I thank you guys for trusting me, because most people, they don't understand the forecast the way that I do. And because I do so much of this, I'm really in tune with what needs to be done. And that's why it's called positive manipulation. So like going in at 129, knowing the product that we had, I knew we'd land at 135, between 135 and 150. And so I kind of give you guys the options. Hey, do you want this guaranteed money? Do you want to roll the dice with me? And maybe I can give you a couple extra for that. I know the Libra and you was like, let's take the guaranteed money, right? It's a little bit more, because most of the offers that you're going to get are going to be lowball when it's cash. And then they're going to come back and say, I know I offered you 80, but no, I need you to do this. I'm not going to give you 68.5. And if they get you vulnerable enough and you're just ready to go, then they'll do that. Whereas I come in and I just say, listen, it is a lowball offer because I want to make sure that no matter what, I'm profitable, right? But I can also do this thing as a licensed realtor where I can give you a little bit more space, time, energy, effort off of your plate, put that on my back, but still get you a great amount of money in a short period of time. And most people are like, that's too good to be true. And I'm like, well, it does sound too good to be true, but it's not. And this is what I do regularly. And so on camera, I'm going to say, if you guys give me a good review, then I can keep the momentum going. Because really, it's that good experience that people have with me that allow other people to go, well, it had to be okay if he's got 100 people saying that it was okay.
And I did Google you. I Googled all the businesses that all the money went to. And so, because I think we did our homework too.
Yeah. Social proof is important. I try to tell that. So I teach a mentorship, the loaded lead generation system, and we have loaded mentorship. And it's really important that I teach people the integrity side of this, right? Like, if you don't care about people, I care about people. Like I'm a father of 3, I'm a husband. I run a men's encouragement group, yada, yada. So this is like ministry for me. It's really important that every outcome is a certain way. And the Libra in me, and after you said that, is always weighing, like I'm picking my clients too. People think that they're picking me, but it's like I'm trying my hardest to pick the right situations as well. So I try to teach integrity from the foundation, and you have to care about your client more than you care about your outcome, because if you don't, then your moral compass is going to be immediately pointed in the wrong direction. You know what I mean when I say that? Because we don't get paid until we do a good job. And so if you try to rush through it, you're not going to do a good job, right? Like, if you're thinking about the end in the beginning, unfortunately, sometimes it'll throw you off. So thank you for those honest answers. What made you feel confident moving forward with the partnership instead of like the traditional sale, or you guys doing all the work yourselves?
What made us
Feel confident in moving forward once you kind of had the information weighed out, and then you made the decision to move forward. What would you say made you?
I think after speaking with you about it, you answered all of our questions. You're very accessible. You just answered us right back
Yeah,
whenever we had a
and that was
question.
really nice is you always took the time, even on the weekends, you took the time to answer any of our questions that we had. We could call you on a Sunday afternoon and it'd be quick to answer the phone. Matter of fact, I think we called you on a Sunday morning one time and you were in church and you got, as soon as you got out of church, you called us right back, which was pretty impressive.
And even if we texted you with the question, you made sure you called us back because you can lose a lot in text. So you made sure that we understood what you were saying. And even if we did get the emails from them, you always texted us the same information to make sure that we got it.
It's important. So I say that communication and translation rule the nation.
Yes.
Meaning, I like to call even after I text so that the information is conveyed. And I also have a lot of windows open in my mind. So the faster that, in a way, it's like mutually beneficial. The faster I get the information to you guys and make sure that it's properly translated, the faster I can actually close that window. Right. So it's like it allows me to make sure. And that's another thing I try to teach. Like, hey guys, like this is your client. So well, I want to work from 9 to 5. Get a new career. Cause like real estate's 24/7. Right. So when the title company sends us an email or when the client has a clarification that they might need, the faster you can give the answer to them, the quicker you can reduce their anxiety or their worry or whatever it might be. And it's my job. It's my job to be accessible to you. And again, I think in real estate, a lot of the times realtors and wholesalers and flippers and rehabbers, they want things to move on their timeline. But if you've owned a house since 1980, you've had it for 30, 40 years. Like if you've had something for 34 years and you want to get it done in 30, 40 days, you got to be really good at communicating. And if you're not, you got to get into a different line of work. And that's pretty much just all to it. Um, how did, I'm going to start with you on this one for the Libra honesty. How did working with me compare to your expectations when we first started the process? So like when we first started, I'm sure that you had some things in your mind that you were thinking, well, let's see how this goes. How did it actually compare to the expectations that you had in your mind in the beginning?
It was better, much better
Um,
than what my expectations were.
What were, just because he said that, what were some of maybe the worries that you had?
That maybe me not knowing you very well, that you would come back and say, oh, we needed to do this, we need to do this. And then to where it's coming down to where, yeah, still love on me. And you didn't do that. So
I love that. That's I couldn't pay for it better. What about you, Dad?
Everything, I mean, so whenever you and I met, I had confidence in you and it worked just as I expected it to, actually.
it did. He had every confidence. And so I had to go with what he wanted to do. And I said, if you feel like that's what you need to do, what we're doing, then okay. You know how I feel about it and my questions.
Yep.
But it's ultimately your decision.
The thing that's so funny is I'm first of all, thank you so much. Cause so I was actually going to lunch with Tyrell. We had the next ball and Tyrell said, how did it go? Or I was telling him and Dean how it went. And I said, it went well. I said, Dan's got all the confidence in me. And I said, and I think I did a good job of answering his wife's questions, which will ultimately drive the decision. Right. And, and I felt confident in my ability to just answer those questions to the best of my ability to give you the comfort that you desire. And I take a lot of pride in workmanship, but also sticking to my word. So that's why I don't like this. Like when I said, can we meet at the house? I like to meet in person so that you don't feel like I'm calling you and saying, hey, I know I said this number, but can we reduce it to that number? And then I'm, shysting you off the phone, for lack of better words. Being personable has to do with the amount of deals that you can do. So if you reduce the amount of business that you do, you can increase the quality of communication with your client. I just take a lot of pride in that. I try to teach that. But I think that's something that was like instilled in me from my grandmother. I was kind of raised by that older generation. It was like, take your time, look a person in the eye, give a good firm handshake, and don't say anything that you can't do, but be very, forward with what you can do. And so that's what I take a lot of. So thank you. That makes me feel good about what we do. What was the biggest benefits you experienced by choosing the equity partnership over the, traditional cash, which you were thinking about doing, or the traditional listing, which I think you guys were thinking about it, but it was like, even that was kind of a little, what do you think the benefits were kind of going with the equity partnership / Novation.
Sure.
Yeah, getting it done faster.
Yeah.
Getting everything complete, getting the job completed, and then turning the sale, getting
Yeah, and
done
like you
quickly.
took care of everything.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do very much.
I think there was a time where I was like a little bit faster than you even expected because I was like, hey, Dan, we got everything done. I need to step out the backyard.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, I didn't even care if you can't at this point. I told you I wouldn't dock any points for it, and I don't mind spending the extra money to get it done. It's just about getting the products ready. So it's like, let's get it on the market at this point, So that's, and I tried my hardest to be assertive without being aggressive. It's like, hey, it's me again. Just wondering if I could, versus like being annoying.
So we've used contractors a lot.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to get stuff done in a timely fashion because you've got to find somebody first, and then you've got to get them lined out. And then a lot of times they drag their feet getting this done, this done. Oh, I've got this other job. I had to go do this first. And so, yeah. And then having you do it, you had your own people and you were able to get in there and knock it out so much faster than I could. So, yeah, it was a lot better.
Yeah, thank you so much. For me, it's like keeping my guys busy, but I also set a really tight expectation. Us Libras aren't afraid to communicate directly. That's why it was funny talking to you because you're like, hey, so what does this mean? What would that be? I was like, well, let me tell you very clearly what it means. I think that was good for you too.
Yeah.
So it's about having the guys lined up. Once you have good guys, you don't go find other guys. You know what I mean? If I do a job in San Antonio, I just bring them, house them, feed them. You know what I mean? Like we just use the same guys over and over again. How did the communication and transparency throughout the deal make you feel about the partnership? I know we touched on it a couple times.
Yeah, but that's good.
Good. What aspects of the process stood out the most to you in terms of ease, efficiency, and financial impact? What aspects of the process stood out?
You taking care of everything. You took care of all the remodeling. We didn't have to worry about any of that. You just came in and did it.
And I think that even not having to worry about the color of the floor or the color of the paint or
Right.
I think, would you say that takes burned away as well?
Yes. Yes.
Now
the color of the door, I'm not sure about. Was this paint you had left over?
Well, so honestly, we did this a couple of times within the last 12 months and people loved it. And because we had like such crazy compliments on it and the green, how's thing like
Spring.
yeah, with the white trim, I was like, Oscar, we want to do the door. I was like, I'm thinking sand, right? Like, and he's like, this is the blue door. That's literally what he said.
When I saw it, I was like,
This is the blue door, right? And I was like, he's like, sand on the porch. He's like, we're going to do white to match the trim. And he's like, the blue door will give it the pop. And I didn't even think twice. I was like, the blue door it is. And literally people were messaging us when the pictures went up.
well, it did stand out.
Gave it a pop. And people just loved it. Now, we'll go by 3 months and see if it's a different color. Let's go. No.
I just had to ask that.
If you were to explain this experience to a friend or a family member, how would you describe the experience in your own words?
We would recommend these people if you were ever wanting to sell a house that needed some work
Yeah.
and you didn't have, really the time. This is the best way to go.
How about you?
Yeah, so it was quick, it was easy. You got it on the market quick, you got it sold quick. So yeah, it was quick and easy.
So see, this is how much we trusted you because we didn't second guess your color on the door.
And it's definitely a questionable. I'm Cyril, I need you to put the color of the door up when we edit this thing out. But it's definitely questionable. And I think first time we did it, I was really scared of it. And you were doing like a lot of trends, because there was like a lot, the red door and the black door and the blue door and, the trend between hardy plank color and trim color. And so it is weird. It's very weird. Oh, fun fact. That's the actual color of my front door.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So my wife liked it so much on the design that we did for another house. She's like, I want that door. Right. So that's the exact same color of our front and back door. So I wasn't like a huge fan of it. She was the one who initially picked it for a house that we sold in like 8 days in a market that, I don't know if you guys know this, the market in that Brazoria, that specific area in Brazoria, not a house around there that has sold in less than 40 days. and you guys have so chosen four.
Mm.
But it was the finishes, the brand new appliances, just the little things that I truly believe make a huge difference. I mean, first of all, we're going to get a mortgage for less than $1,000 in 2025. You're not. Okay. And then what house are you going to get turnkey where all the appliances are brand new? I mean, we did everything short of a washer and dryer, and I was this close to doing that too. Right. So it's not like, those are the things that make it super easy for somebody to just come into and call all. They'll just unpack their stuff and
Well, I believe they got a really good house.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They stole that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they did really well, actually.
No, they stole that thing, and that's why with all the little kind of nitpicking, I just kind of I know what you got, you know what you got.
But that's why that kind of bothers you whenever they are nitpicking like that and you're thinking, you got a really good deal on this house.
You and I have so much more home buying experience, and I think they do. But that's why representation, another Asian that rules the nation, is representation, because even when I represent buyers, I am not necessarily stern with them, like in a negative way, but I educate them. Hey guys, this is what you're getting. This is the market you're in. This is the interest rate. Here's your monthly payment. These are all the things that was done. And even if you were to buy a KB home or a Perry home or a Toll Brothers home or whatever, when you do your final blue tape walkthrough, there is imperfections.
Right.
A human being built this house. So, okay. And there might have been some dissecties involved when they poured this foundation. You know what I mean? So, you got to take it with a grain of salt. And I just try not to let somebody who's making a big purchase.
Because people that are new to it, I've always heard they don't see past paint color. They walk into a house and they see it this color and they're like, oh no, I can't.
That's not a, that's
Yeah,
100%.
they can't think of it differently.
Yeah. And then what happens is when you get an inspection report back,
Then they look at it's every little bitty thing.
and it is what it is. You live in Texas, your foundation is going to be weird and tourish. Like, it just is what it is. So you're never going to get around these small things. I think that just comes with experience and your representation making you feel comfortable. What advice would you give to other homeowners considering an equity partnership as an option for selling their home?
I would recommend it.
Yeah. I mean, it is different.
It's a lot of trust. It's a lot of trust.
Yep.
You do have to trust the person that you are going through. I mean, it might not be for everyone, but it worked for us.
Yes.
So
That's a great answer. I think you're 100% correct. I think some people, sometimes you're just going to have those barriers up mentally, past experiences. You're looking at the market maybe and just thinking that you can do things better on your own. So it is, your doctor, your dentist, your teacher, it doesn't matter who you pick at what you're picking them for. There always has to be a tremendous amount of trust. I think in this particular case, and Daniel, I'll let you answer that, it just takes a lot more because it's a house. It's a, sometimes 5-6 figure transaction. So there does have to be trust there. What advice would you give to other homeowners considering equity partnership as an option for selling their homes? In an advice aspect.
So it worked out well. It takes a lot of pressure off of the homeowner to find contractors, design aspect. You knew what buyers wanted. You came in, you redid the bathroom you put in a new vanity, you did the bathtub and all that stuff people want.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have done that because I didn't know that. So yeah, you understand what buyers want, and the flooring, you change the flooring and so design and having the workers, the contractors there able to do all that, it just made it a lot easier. And it would have taken me a lot longer
Ultimately.
and I wouldn't have had as nice a product that that a buyer would want.
What about you, Cheryl? I think.
Yeah, that's us that
Yeah.
I would trust. Believe me, my first thing was we had just put in that flooring and we had just spent the money on it, but it was the same flooring we had taken out and had it put back in. And to me, I would have sold it like that.
Yeah.
But then after you came in and you redid it, it was almost the same color.
It was.
Yeah, the same color. But we were like, oh, okay.
And LVE is a little bit of a different product. It's got a little bit more durability. It gives you a 5-year minimum. It's got a 5-year warranty on it naturally.
Yeah, and we're like, this looks so much better.
Yeah.
And so
The carpet was good that you guys had pre-existing. Once I gave it a good steam, I was like, okay, this is not that old. It's like, ultimately, you guys had done a great job with the kitchen and everything else. It made it really, you guys gave me a good foundation. So it really wasn't that tough on me. Last but not least, would you recommend working with me to others in a similar situation? And if so, what would you tell them? Look at you for saying, what?
I was fixing to say that. I was going to go, are you sure we would? Yeah, you can cut that. See if it will more for cut out. Definitely. I mean, I think we have said over and over again how easy you were to work with and how much we appreciated everything you did. And I just think that it was an easy experience with us.
I love how Mizan just said easy. I'm not easy, by the way,
Yeah, I'll say it maybe easy's not the right
No.
word, but peace of mind for us
I like that too.
because
Getting all the good stuff. All the good stuff. What about you, Dan? No, not the wait. I don't want to cut you off. You got more out.
keep it coming.
What about you, Dan? Seriously.
So, yeah, you made the process really easy. You were easy to talk to, easy to get a hold of. Getting a hold of you is a major thing.
Yeah.
Because so I work shift work, and for you to be available whenever I'm available was really good. And so
And he didn't make us feel like our questions were stupid or anything.
I think I understand. Like, yeah, it's a big deal what you just said. I think people don't understand that from the seller's aspect, you don't understand everything. And okay, you're selling a house that you've owned for like 30 years. You just bought another house. Things change so much in real estate that you want to be able to ask questions without being made to feel stupid.
And so you explained everything, every question we had, you explained to us.
Good. I'm glad. It makes me happy that we did this in 45 days, guys.
I know, very quick. We were very happy with that.
You want contract to close. And
Pretty good day.
and yeah, during the holidays.
during the holiday.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember when I said to you, I said, I'm going to tell you one thing. I don't, overpromise and underdeliver. It's the exact opposite. I like to underpromise and overdeliver. I said, I can get this thing done before New Year's. And I remember your face going, I don't know.
I couldn't see it because there's no way I could have got a contractor to come before New Year's even start, before the end of the year. I couldn't have got anybody to come even look at it. Honestly,
We were on the day after New Year's. And I said, this is the perfect time. Everybody's going to be, well, I want to be a homeowner in the beginning of the year. So we were going to catch all that. And I just remember, I do distinctly remember you saying, it was your face more than what you said. I was like, well, we can get this thing on by New Year's Day. That's it. And Dan's face was like this. He was kind of like, okay, like I heard what you said. I don't know if you're gonna do it. And I was like, Dan, I'll have it on. And this thing will be contract proposal for you by this. And I remember when you asked me, 31 days inspection, 90 day to close. And I said, hey, I always do that just in case we have an amendment, but we'll be closed far before then. I just don't like to write contracts a bunch of times. I give it a really staple timeline, and then we go by that. So I'll let you guys get out of here. I thank you so much.
Well,
Enjoy. And like I said, I hope that you guys have a absolutely blessed rest of your year. Thank you so much. I really do mean when I say that, because without you guys, I don't actually have an opportunity. And this is what I do best. So, what they say in life, if you can find what you love to do and do that, it's like you're not working. So I actually do like being cold and having tough negotiations and annoying realtors to talk to all the time.
well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, bro.